anything when they want to say.
Not just a station, we are a movement. High Power 102.7 FM, the pride of the people.
The time is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. Here is High Power 102.7 FM Midday News. I am Florence Ibhareman. First, the headlines. NNPC NUPPRM remit funds into FAAC after Order 9. U.S. identifies Nigeria charged for counter-terrorism strategy. On the foreign scene, Ramaphosa vows to challenge impeachment proceedings. And in sports, Amuson target third African Championship. Details of these and more in a moment. Please stay tuned. Glad to have you back, and now the news in details. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPPRM) remitted over 322 billion naira and $116.9 million into the federal account FACC within 2 months following the impeachment of Executive Order 9 signed in February 2026. The document obtained from the presentation made by both agencies at the March and April FAAC meeting indicated the remittance followed the federal government's directive mandating the full transfer of crude oil and gas revenue into the Federation account. It could be recalled that the Executive Order 9, signed by President Bola Tinubu in February 2026, was introduced to strengthen transparency, improve revenue accountability, and boost inflow into the Federation account. At the time, the government is grappling with fiscal pressure and raising expenditure demand. So moving on, the United States has identified Nigeria and the Lake Chad Basin as a critical front in its 2026 counter-terrorism strategy, warning that extremist group operating across Africa remains a growing threat to global security. The U.S. strategy document said part of Africa includes West Africa, the Sahel region, the Lake Chad Basin, Mozambique, Sudan, and Somalia have witnessed a resurgence of terrorist activity following the collapse of the ISIS strongholds in Iraq and Syria. The document noted that remnants of the Islamic State, ISIS, and the affiliated jihadist group had relocated to Africa, the Central Asia, exploiting undergoverned space and weak security structures. Now to federal matters, the federal government has stepped up engagement with the World Bank for a fresh $1.25 billion loan to support economic reforms, job creations, and competitiveness. The proposed loan titled Nigerians Action for Investment and Jobs Acceleration is expected to be presented for approval on June 26, 2026, about 6 months and 21 days before the January 16, 2027 presidential election. According to the revised timetable, the Independent National Electoral Commission, if approved, the loan will rank as the second largest single World Bank facility secured under President Bola Tinubu for economic stabilization to ensure transformational development. Meanwhile, President of the Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, is targeting the valuation of $50 billion for his Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemical ahead of the planned stock market listing later this year. The senior executive of the Dangote Group confirmed that the projection valuation aligns with the country's current internal expectation but declined to provide additional details on the planned transaction. The planned listing comes as stronger global crude oil pricing and growing domestic fuel demand improve the commercial outlook for the 650 barrel per day refinery, which has increasingly become a dominant player in Nigeria's downstream petroleum market. This media news is coming to you from iPower 102.7 FM in Murile, Owo. Still to come on the foreign scene, Ramaphosa vows to challenge impeachment proceedings. And in sports, Amusan target third African championship.
Whether you're tuning in for breaking news, in-depth analysis, or community updates, Hyper 102.7 FM remains your most trusted source, because when it comes to news, the truth matters. Hyper FM 102.7.
Welcome back. To be a part of our program, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok at iPower1027 FM. We are also on Radio Garden. Now to the foreign scene. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says he will legally challenge a report that has paved the way for Parliament to consider impeachment proceedings against him over the theft of large sum of cash from his private firm. Meanwhile, a constitution court ruling last week found the parliament acting unconstitutionally when it voted against establishing an impeachment inquiry against Ramaphosa regarding the Fala report in 2022. It could be recalled that the controversy stemmed from the so-called Fala scandal, in which thousands of dollars were stolen from furniture at his game farm. Still on the foreign scene, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has pledged to prove the doubters in his own party among the electorate wrong as he fights off demand for him to step down after devastating local election result for his Labour Party. Meanwhile, Labour lawmaker Katrina West, who had vowed to trigger a leadership challenge if Starmer did not make a major turning point, said she would hold off for now, while urging him to resign by September. Also, dozens of other lawmakers have urged him to announce a departure date, with the number ticking up in the hour after the speech. And in sport, world record holder and 5 times national champion Toby Amusan will target the third African 100-meter hurdles title as she begins her campaign at the 2026 African Senior Athletics Championship in Accra, Ghana, which gets underway at the University of Ghana today. Amusan arrives with an impressive record at the Continental Championship, having won 5 gold medals across individual and relay event. She won the 100 and 100 relay title at Asaba 2018, repeated the sprint hurdles and relay double in Mauritius 2022, and added another relay gold at the Douala 2024. To end the iPower 102.7 FM media news, let us take another look at the main point. We told you in the course of the bulletin that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPPRM) remitted over 322 billion naira and $116.9 million into the Federation account FAAC. We also informed you that the federal government has implemented stricter new measures to combat drug and We also informed you that the United States has identified Nigeria and the Lake Chad Basin as a critical front in its 2026 counter-terrorism strategy, warning that extremist group operating across Africa remains a growing threat to global security. On the foreign scene, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has pledged to prove that doubters in his own party and among the electorate wrong as he fights off demands for him to step down after devastating local elections result for his Labour Party. And in sport, a world record holder and five-time national champion Toby Amusan will target a third African 100-meter hurdles titled as she begins a campaign at the 2026 African Senior Athletics Championship in Accra, Ghana. And that was the